I'm having a moment. I don't know about you guys. You look fantastic. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of our two wonderful intendeds and their son Samuel, hello. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you here today, gathered for this marvellous occasion in this, the most amazing venue. So we gather together to witness and to celebrate the marriage of Claire and William. I know they truly believe it wouldn't be the same without you all here, and you are giving them the best gift you can offer them with your presence. You know, for most of us, a deep connection with another like-minded person is what we're drawn to in life. And today, we are drawn together for Claire and for William. Today, we will share this aspect of our humanity with them as we witness them plight their troth. Telling me too off for looking at me, and it's hard, but... My name is Libby MacArthur, and I'm a celebrant with Celebrate People. We are all joined in mysterious ways that we don't necessarily understand, but through celebrating the love found here with Claire and William, we embrace the essence of the other as part of our own journey through life. And in this, we are reminded of all the love that we have in our own lives. A Celebrate People ceremony, emphasis is on what it is that unites us and what does this more than love. And today, it's the love between these two that is our focus. And of course, their love and commitment to Samuel too. You know, I'm really honoured to be able to conduct personally shaped ceremonies like these, to officiate the extraordinary event when two people, in their own words, declare their intention and commitment to be all they can be to one another, to be in each other's corner, come hell or high water, to have each other's backs ad infinitum, to take that quantum leap about themselves as individuals, inspired by the love that they have for one another, that they can, that they ought, that they will, and indeed that they are now doing it. It is amazing. Weddings are a family affair, of course, so it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, that our bride and groom would not be here if it weren't for the folks. And so, we would like to start this ceremony by acknowledging them. You know, the people we love live on like a flame in our hearts and our memories. So Claire and Bill have these 3 candles lit, one each for Claire's mum and dad, Maureen and Jerry, and one for William's dad, John. For those that don't know, William's dad was the first male in Scotland to adopt as a single person. Good man, John. So these flames shall stay lit throughout the ceremony. As we know for sure, had all 3 been here physically, albeit they are with us in spirit, they would be here wishing these two all the love in the world. You know, I'm sure we all hold Claire and William with respect and reverence as they're about to cross a threshold in life when, before this hour is out, there'll be declarations of love, rings put on fingers, and you will have been witness to their sweet, solemn and sincere vows in the sanctity of marriage to one another. So, to these rings then, I'm now going to ask you lot to do something special from each of you for our couple. I invite you all to get involved in a custom. It's an old custom called the warming of the rings. So George, have you got the rings? Did Samuel bring them? Yes? George, can you hold the rings up? Maybe Katie, you could take one and George, you could take the other. And I want you to hold them up on either side for all to see. And I want you to gaze on these rings, folks. So if you hold them high, George and Caitlin, when you hold these rings in your gaze, send to them great intentions. You might try to infuse them with your love, your wishes, maybe a blessing, maybe blow them a wee kiss. Whatever from today, Claire and William will take it all with them. All these lovely wishes and thoughts you have bestowed as they wear their wedding rings. It's a lovely motion, so let's put it in motion now. Thank you, guys. So, Caitlin, you want to give that back to George, you might need it later on. So, if everyone would like to, so far, not for long. So, Claire had already adopted her darling son, Samuel, just after he turned 1 in September 2017. A single mum, a night out was a rare thing for Claire. Therefore, it wasn't until months later, actually the end of February 2018, that Claire responded to her fellow adopters. They had all been trying to persuade her that she ought to have even one night out, or even just to indulge in a night in, but all to herself. Their pleas finally heard, Claire agreed it was about time for her to don on her glad rags and have at least one night on the tiles. However, Claire told me that she then decided no, that she didn't just want a night out on the lash. If she was going to be leaving Samuel being babysat, she wanted it to be productive. Everything has to be productive with me, she said. So, aiming for that two birds with the one stone kind of thing, she went online to see if there was anyone she fancied going on a date with. Soon she started chatting with some guy. He'd also been through the RSND, I can't call it the conservatoire either, I have to call it the RSND, but in a more professional capacity, not as a mere student, but playing the accordion. And he liked golfing too. Being a keen golfer herself, she thought this just might be a Brucey bonus. So, they met on a rainy night on the 8th of March in 2018 at Ginty McGinty's in Ashton Lane. And lo and behold, they hit the ground running, both remarking on how uncanny it was, the many things that they had in common. And the conversation flowed. As it was a school night, Claire had said to her sister and niece, the babysitters, that she'd be back by 10 p.m. at the latest. I suspect you'd guessed already that 10 p.m. came and went, and Claire didn't even notice. When she did eventually get home that night, she was unable to stop talking about her date with this guy Bill. She just spouted and spouted about what a great night she'd had, about all they had in common, about how well it had gone and how she couldn't quite believe it and how she couldn't wait to see him again. Bill too also enthusiastically spouted when he got home, but in his case it was to the four walls. Nevertheless, they soon started courting. Claire had made it quite clear to Bill from the outset that, being the age they were, that she wasn't interested in a fling. No. She was looking for someone who could see themselves settling down to family life. Okay, she'd be willing to consider life without the need for trailing red roses on an actual white picket fence, but she wanted to meet someone who would be the love of her life. Bill heard all of this loud and clear and was glad to, and he stuck around. Then Bill met Samuel, and Claire saw their relationship grow. After a wee while, Samuel himself started calling Bill Daddy. Did he know something Claire didn't? She hadn't even uttered the word Daddy to Samuel, as far as we know, no such person exists. To this day, Samuel's birth dad is unknown. But it turns out, if Claire hadn't yet exclusively set her sights on Bill, Samuel surely had. Claire's vision for a life with her own beloved family had started to blossom in front of her very eyes. On the night of their engagement, they had gone to One Up Exchange Square for a drink, and after a beautiful meal in Regano's, Bill had been planning on asking Claire at some point, but hadn't intended on proposing that night. But somehow, in that moment, it suddenly felt right. The moment had arrived. So before Claire knew what was happening, he, in a carpe diem moment, got an elastic band from the bartender and got down on bended knee. Good man, Bill. Your dad would have been proud. Oh, and if you hadn't guessed already, she actually said yes. So before long, Bill had moved in, and they indeed came to be that family Claire had hoped for. They've had their ups and downs and challenges, as every couple does, but have remained strong even throughout this pandemic and lockdown. Claire admits to terrible anxiety over Samuel's chronic lung disease and asthma, but in turn feels very grateful to Bill for being such a stalwart for all of them, despite her worry. As well as Claire adopting Samuel as a single woman, Bill being adopted by his single dad, John, has always seemed significant to their love story. It felt right and fitting that they had in common these two adoption stories. And with Claire's vision for family life and Bill's positive upbringing with his dad, John, they knew they had something special when it came to love and to commitment. And now we all know it too. So I'd like to invite Claire's friend Suzanne to join me, actually to take the podium, as she's going to be offering our couple this wonderful reading from the book of Tobit. Thank you, Suzanne.
A reading from the book of Tobit. On the evening of their marriage, Tobias said to Sarah, "You and I must pray and petition our Lord to win his grace and protection." They began praying for protection, and this is how he began. "You are blessed, O God of our fathers. Blessed too is your name forever and ever. Let the heavens bless you and all the things you have made forevermore. It was you who created Adam, you who created Eve, his wife, to be his help and support. And from these two the human race was born. It was you who said, 'It's not good that the man should be alone. Let us make him a helpmate like himself.' And so I do not take my sister for any lustful motive. I do it in singleness of heart. Be kind enough to have pity on her and on me, and bring us to old age together." And together they said, "Amen, Amen." The words of the Lord.
Amen to that. Thank you, Suzanne. Beautifully read. And a wonderful sentiment. So, we're now at the bit of the ceremony where we're going to symbolically proclaim the uniting of this awesome family. Claire and William have chosen the traditional manner of hand fasting as part of their wedding ceremony. So I'll be binding their joined hands as a way of confirming their union. Hand fasting is an ancient Celtic marriage ritual, and if you ever wondered where the expression tie the knot came from, now you know. So it's a symbolic way of showing that they are joined to one another and that their bond is strong. Claire and William, as you prepare to enter this marriage, can I ask you Claire, to give Caitlin your beautiful bouquet, and George is going to be my lovely assistant here. And what I would like you to do is, so George, if you come this side with Caitlin, And Claire and William, if you hold your right hands together, then yeah, that's beautiful. So, what we have here is we have two lovely bits of cloth. In the joining of these hands, we have the Semple-Tartan and we have Gallagher. So George, I'm going to get you to come up here and be even taller than you normally are. Which is tall. Okay, guys, so for Claire and for Bill. As this knot is tied, so are your lives now bound. Woven into these threads are all the hopes of your friends and family for your new life together. With the fastening of this knot, I tie all the desires, dreams, love and happiness wished here for your future for as long as you both shall live. In the joining of hands and the fastening of a knot, so are your lives now bound to one another. So if I have your thumb here, Bill, if you just hold that, and Claire, if I have your thumb, release it here, hold that, and if you hold that for a second. Okay, so by this hand fastening, you are thus bound to your vow. So if you want to pull through, just taking the yes. Yes. Okay. So, may this knot remain tied and may this cord draw your hands together in love. This knot symbolises the fact that together you are stronger than you are individually. It is a bond that ties but does not bind, and one that is sealed by your love and by the love we all have for you as individuals and as a couple. May the bonds never come undone through either the joys of the storms of life, and may you walk through life hand in hand, mind and mind, heart to heart. So God, I can give you back to you guys have tied the knot. Yeah, so here today we have celebrated the deep connection these two soulmates have made, and now further strengthened with their devotion to Samuel, with the blessing that is about to be their marriage. You know, the poet Anne Garber writes, "To love someone is to learn the song in their heart and then sing it back to them." William and Claire, this part of the service is that love song created by each of you and sung for each other. I really love this bit. And so now we will hear what Claire and William wrote and sent to me when I asked them to tell me the things that they love about each other. And although it's written by themselves for one another, neither of them has heard what the other has sent me, and are in front of you now, hearing it for the very first time. So let's hear what they had to say. It feels as if there should be a drum roll here at some point. The love notes to each other. So folks, this is what Claire said about Bill. So Claire, if you look at your future husband-to-be, and Bill, if you listen, as it were, Claire speaking to you. From the first contact on internet dating, I just loved the fact that Bill could spell and string a sentence together. I loved that Bill was talented in the arts as a musician, playing the accordion, organ and piano. I love his humour and gentle, friendly manner, and that he always has a smile. I love that he's taught me to open up and talk, although I bet he wish he hadn't. I love that he's taught me to be more tolerant and has helped me to be a better me. Well, some of the time. I love that he's protective over us and wants this, our family life. I love that he has offered me the opportunity to thrive in our home life together and the chance to get back to my love of theatre. Oh, and I love his mischievousness too. A wee bye, Claire. Thank you. And this, folks, is what Bill sent to me about his wife-to-be, Claire.
I'm sorry.
Apologise straight up. There is no need. When I first saw Claire standing at the front door of Ginty's, I loved what I saw. I loved how tiny she was and how very, very beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that she was bubbly and just smiled for the whole date. I love that we have so much in common, like the adoption, music, oh, and that she plays golf too. Yes, that was a bonus. I love that she adopted Samuel because I had been adopted as well, and I knew just how amazing that was. I love that family life was so important to her and that it's what she wanted. I love that she's such a Monica, always organising. It drives me nuts, but I wouldn't have her any other way. I love that we both like the outdoors. And I love the fact that on our first night, it was her who sneaked her wee pinky onto mine to hold my hand first. A wee bow on that one, Bill. Claire and Bill, I would like to extend my own personal blessing to you both. Dear Lord, may they have confidence in each other completely as they have faith in themselves. May they be at home wherever they dwell and gather wisdom from all the experiences they share. May they live a long and happy life together. And so now, guys, the bit we've all been waiting for, the bit where we make it all legal. George, the rings. So, will you all now please, if you haven't already, turn your full attention to our couple. And Claire and William, of course, to each other. So, the wedding ring is a circle, a symbol of wholeness, strength, cooperation and peace. The circle represents the seasons of life itself. And the circle of these rings represent a symbol of your love and strength for each other. As Claire and William place them on each other's fingers, they are taking the blessings that you, their loved ones, have bestowed on them into their marriage. William, will you now take Claire's ring and prepare to place it on her finger? And before you do, and now as prescribed in Scottish law, will you please, William, in as loud a voice as you can, repeat after me. I, William Gallacher.
I, William Gallacher.
Fisher.
Isn't you?
Don't look at me. Last person in the room to look at. In the presence of my family and friends.
In the presence of our family and friends.
Except you, Claire Teresa Semple.
Except you, Claire Teresa Semple.
In marriage.
In marriage.
To be my lawfully wedded wife.
To be my lawfully wedded wife.
To have and to hold from this day forward.
To have and to hold from this day forward.
I promise to love you with all that I am.
I promise to love you with all that I am.
To support and respect you.
Support and respect you.
For better, for worse.
For better, for worse.
For richer, for poorer.
For richer, for poorer.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
To love, honour and cherish you for the rest of our days.
To love, honour and cherish you for the rest of our days.
And before you're allowed to put that ring on and stake your claim, Bill, do you, Claire Teresa Semple, in the presence of your family and friends, accept William in marriage? Do you promise to love him with all that you are as he loves you?
I do.
Yes. You can now. So Claire, if you would take your ring and prepare to place it on Bill's finger and repeat after me. And don't repeat this bit. And now, as prescribed in Scottish law, will you please, Claire, repeat after me? I, Claire Teresa Semple,
I, Claire Teresa Semple,
in the presence of my family and friends,
in the presence of my family and friends,
accept you, William Gallacher,
accept you, William Gallacher,
in marriage, to be my lawfully wedded husband,
to be my lawfully wedded husband,
to have and to hold from this day forth.
to have and to hold from this day forth.
I promise to love you with all that I am,
I promise to love you with all that I am,
to support and respect you,
to support and respect you,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer or poorer,
for richer or poorer,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love, honour and cherish you for the rest of our days.
to love, honour and cherish you for the rest of our days.
Do you, William Gallacher, in the presence of your family and friends, accept Claire Teresa Semple in marriage? Do you promise to love her with all that you are as she loves you?
I do.
Claire, you can now put the ring on William's finger. Following the declarations made before me and in the presence of these witnesses, your family and friends, it is with the greatest of pleasure that I declare and pronounce you both married together as husband and wife. You may kiss. So folks, will you now sit patiently as we now have an especially important part of our ceremony, the signing of the marriage schedule, which will be witnessed by our best man, George Lambie, and chief bridesmaid, Caitlin Griffiths, and signed with the Celebrant's pen, which is no ordinary instrument, as the ink in this pen is very distinct. Firstly, it's permanent, so no invisible ink here, guys. So it will last for all time. And secondly, it's the very same ink that has been used in all marriages for hundreds of years. So, meanwhile, while we're signing the schedule, I'd like to introduce you again to Maria, and this time she will be accompanied with her brother Jamie on guitar and David on keyboard, with their wonderful rendition of Ave Maria and Amazing Grace. And we will be back as soon as the schedule's signed. So, this weekend. Claire and William, our newlyweds, would like now, with the help of their son Samuel, to toast their family with an old Celtic tradition, drinking from the Quaich. So, again, Caitlin, if you could take the bride's bouquet. Drinking from the Quaich is traditionally associated with welcoming, sharing and understanding. The years of our lives are as a cup of wine poured out for us to drink. So, Bill, you can do the honours.
Okie dokie.
Those who drink deeply of life invite the full range of experiences into their being. The cup of life contains within it the sweet wine of happiness, joy, hope and delight. This same cup at times holds the bitter wine of sorrow, grief and despair. So Bill and Claire, drink now, and may the cup of your lives be full to running over. As you two drink from this cup, you acknowledge to one another that your lives until this moment separate have become one vessel into which all your sorrows and joys, all your hopes and fears will be poured, and from which you will receive mutual sustenance. For many days to come, you will sit at the same table and eat and drink together. In this ritual, our couple would also like to turn to Samuel and toast their son, and thank you, Samuel, for being theirs. So now that our newlyweds have drunk from the quaich, what we would like to do now is to hear a Scots toast delivered by Samuel Semple. It's a wonderful old traditional Scots toast, and Samuel's going to come up here. And Samuel, I have the words. I have the words in case you get stuck. But well, Jenny, I've got the words. Now, you know, you can hear how loud Libby is. She's very loud, isn't she? So I want you to try to be as loud. You think you could try? Right, Samuel, I've got the words. So, Samuel, are you ready?
Be the best I've ever seen. Be the best I've ever seen.
Be
Be the worst I've ever
see.
seen.
May the
Be the most the gun
we are.
of a teardrop Kennedy.
May the I
And the end keep feeling hearty
tell you.
till you're old enough to be.
May the I
Be feeling hearty
may the I be just as happy.
as I wish I could be.
So our newlyweds, now each with wedding rings on their fingers, have decided it's only right and fitting that since Samuel is so much part of their vows, they've declared today that he too could have a ring to commemorate the celebrating and uniting of their bond together. So George, have we got Samuel's ring? So, please dear Samuel. So Samuel, come up to the top of the stairs because I want everybody to see your ring. I'm going to hold on to you. So Mum, Dad, could you put Samuel's ring on? Which ring have we got? And Samuel, will you hold your ring up high for everyone to see? And everyone just say, right, Samuel, watch the steps. Right. Well done. And so, just to mark this beautiful moment with the rings, can I invite one of our ushers, Derek Dorman, who will deliver for us a very apt poem for this particular ceremony, The Wedding Ring. So, thank you, Derek.
Thanks, Samuel. All that. Wedding ring. The sweetest story that's ever been told lies in the slim circle of gold, joining two people as husband and wife to share in the joys and the sorrows of life. For richer or poorer, in sickness and health, your marriage can yield up a wonderful wealth of memories to treasure and hopes to renew, all part of the promises made by you. With faith in each other and love as your guide, as long as forever you'll walk side by side. And a shining reminder of how much you care will lie in a little. I will practice again.
A wonderful rendition, Dave. So guys, we've almost reached the end of our ceremony and are approaching the start of the celebrations. So on behalf of our newly wedded couple, William and Claire, I'd like to thank you all for coming here today. I would personally like to thank the bride and groom for asking me to marry them. I'm really grateful to have had the great pleasure in taking part in this incredibly inspiring occasion today. And so to end, let us all join in gratitude with this wondrous hymn to love. The beautiful Maria. Take it away.
Peace.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, your applause for the top table was just okay. You can do a lot better than this. I'm going to invite the bride and groom in. I want you to stamp your feet, whistling, cheering, making loads of noise. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the bride and groom! Could you now take your wife to her seat, please?
Thank you all for being here today to celebrate Claire and Bill's wedding. Didn't it go well? Yes! standing in for my big brother, Jerry. And we're celebrating two things today. One, the wedding, obviously, and Jerry's birthday. So I'd like you to put your hands together for Jerry. When I'm finished. Normally at this time with Jerry and I, when we were about any functions or anything like that, we used to always sneak off to the bar. And 9 times out of 10 we had to get dragged out. It gives a wee bit of courage and fortification for making speeches like this, you know. But there's another thing I've got to do today, and that is to welcome Phil into the family. And as I'm told the Claire and her sisters, I've got to call him we'll call him Wee Willie. I think exactly I don't know, but not true. But for today, I think, with the whole family being here, and friends and relations and all the rest of it, I think we should call him Wee Willie. But there's not very much more I can say, but I think the first thing I've got to say about it, one thing I forgot to say was, doesn't the bride look beautiful? Yeah. Because I was nervous, but it's Jenny's fault. Claire's looked very ready, and I hope you all appreciate the day and drink, eat, and being there. I've said that in the wrong way as well. But the only other thing I've got to say, and it's a serious note as well, remember there's COVID about, just be careful. And that's all I've got to say, folks. So, thank you.
Well, thanks very much. First of all, I'd like to thank Frank. Frank for that day. I think it's so willingly giving it away. Too willingly, actually.
I've tried my best to change it, man.
So, on behalf of my wife, we want to thank everybody for coming and making this day so special for both of us. I think we probably have to go for that, yeah. So once again, thanks guys and everybody for coming. Also, we'd love to thank all the bridesmaids, Shannon, Laura, Paul and Gabriel, how beautiful they all look. And of course, we're also one most important person for us. Samuel. And of course, the best man. Sorry, of course, you are the best man and the best boy. So everybody who knows me knows I'm quite very shy. So that's what we do. And then you do go. So okay, we'll leave that about how we play that again. Okay, now we'll clear up a little bit of confusion about how we got away. Because of that confusion, we hope we are ready to do it. So first of all, when I make one sentence. It's not true, it's the same way, it's not what it is. Anyway, so now I stand up and I see Claire's face. Claire swing first, and then I swing after. Make sure it's all good. I think you will.
When I said you have a match,
You must have swiped first.
Anyway, so it's something coating. So anyway, we started seeing this very well, and actually after a while, after 4 or 5, 6 kind of meetings, I kind of felt really weird. In fact, that's so interesting, that terminology falling. We're present at an amazing rate of falling quite often. It falls quite a lot. Basically falling up hills, falling down hills, falling in front of the road, basically. The funniest thing was when she told me that I said the other thing how possible. One was going to be lost, not the first. So, anyway. So we met on Tinder and we met a few things, 5 or 6 things. I think Claire saying, maybe it's things, you met me, man, Samuel. Okay, so she's a bit apprehensive about how this is going to happen. So, so anyway, we met, and after 4 or 5 things after meeting Sam as the other ceremony, Sam started to call me Daddy. Didn't you? Started calling me Daddy. So actually after he started calling me Daddy, that's when we became best mates. You know, best friends, look at anyway, so Claire and I started doing everything. We decided we would want to, whenever I think we went to this one up. So we went upstairs, we were kind of having an argument, not an argument, a rough discussion. And we'll put it was a little something wrong discussion. And then we were out there, and all of a sudden, Tom said, so you're going to marry me or no? So when I went to the bar, that's the guy who did it. Like around, something up, kind of looked up, so the guy gave me a rubber band. So I ran back out, and the truth was, we had fallen everywhere. I fell on my way back. And I get got a hand, and I wrapped around the hand and said, so, you're going to be my wife, you asshole. So anyway, needless to say, that's how it was about me. That's how, yeah. So fun enough tonight. So Claire was always saying, we first met, Claire said to me, I've been an independent woman for the last 4 or 5 years, and she was 44. And she was always, well, I can do myself, don't do that, don't speak. So, and what we after that, Claire wrote herself, for me. That's what it is, isn't it? And it says, even Claire's dad, Jerry, didn't think Claire, Miss Claire would be ever dad. So Jerry said, well, tell you what, I'll give you the money that I saved up for the wedding, you can bring towards your class. And she did. So Claire's been little Miss and friend she is, and she said, well, optimist. She took the first half of it, and I put it towards that. And then that's why you're so. Anyway, so you're my gas, so she wasn't going to myself and herself in Harvey, without question about it. I was so blessed to have this guy over here, Samuel, who's the centre of our family. And it's just, it does make you happy, I think, what it is. So it's just such a nice guy. What he's doing is like, it's really just now. There's a couple here, rated back there, Mandy, and Adam, who were Samuel's very first close people, looked after each other. And Samuel passed the fear of things. And Mandy came back, and another, and everybody thought he would pass all the way for this and that. And when the moment came, it was so hard. That's why I don't know. But look now, he's such a strong guy, amazing guy. And I would just like to say, Mandy and Adam, it's because he used the film. Thank you very much. Also very, very happy please assist us to be here, lawyer, Sister Charles, I don't know Royal, and their family could hear. The first time we will all be together in a hospital list, and it means the world to themselves as prayer. So thank you very much, everyone. You'll all look in class, okay? First of all, of course, I want to say something really make a noise, and it is for Samuel. What he came through, it really means so much to me, Claire. It's just, there's no words to say what it is. So everybody, listen, read me close to Samuel. Samuel. What do you say? Cheers. Also, wanting to love your class, actually, you can actually just make a picture here. My most support person as well in that life is Claire, I love you so much. Just my life isn't safe today. That's how I go. So everybody, to Claire. Last week. The real George, this is Tom's the next one. The George played it many years for myself to try and go in. So he's been saying for a while, saying, no, we're trying to do it, we're trying to do it. He said, many sleepless afternoons to work. So, I'm going to hand you over to Celebrant, who's just as nervous as us, but speak here. Thank you all again, my wife, for all coming. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I was told a best man speech should be like the groom, so this is short and not very funny. To us, he's William. Sorry, you don't know me, I'm Shannon, I'm his wee sister, and I was delighted to learn to be the best man. What I didn't know at the time, because George can't read her right, so he couldn't do this. Sorry. I don't speak, he buys her, sorry. I should point out at the start that Claire asked me not to mention any of William's ex-girlfriends at the top, so I had to redo the whole speech. I've only actually known William for 10 years. Some of you will know, you've heard him today. He was adopted at 8 years old by his dad, Semple-Gallacher, who had fostered William for a while. You can imagine in 1981, a single man in his 50s wanted to adopt a child was unheard of, and his application was rejected. But he took it to the European Court of Appeals and he fought for this boy. Anyone? One of the judges asked the question, why do you want to adopt this guy? He replied, simply because I love him. I was told John was a strong man, mentally and physically, a builder of trades, and if we going through his apprenticeship, we made sure to set him in a straight and narrow. William's got many fond memories of his dad, especially the times spent in Barra. John also had a vast whiskey collection, I'm told. But while he was younger, he didn't even like the stuff. And I think you can see from the city around right now, that was changed. John sadly passed away in 1998, but I think you know what he did, the no bad joke. So I think we should raise a glass. Everybody, to John. To John.
He's over there, actually.
Now, William always knew he had brothers and sisters, but I don't think he realised just how many. I don't think he realised still how many. In 2011, he tracked down Moya, her sister, through social media. Moya then introduced us. And when I heard I had a half brother, I thought, because we share the same dad. It turns out because he's only 4 foot 8. I know what you're all thinking. Clearly hiding good looks comes from one side of the family. One of the good things, there really wasn't many. One of the good things you can see about William is he works hard. Actually, he did some work in our house earlier this year where we went away. brought this guy into hell. The guy wasn't even a decorator. He was a pilot with furlough.
What a job.
Well, we got back for the holiday, couldn't wait to see the place. Goes in, living room shite, kitchen shite. The veranda was
Cornwall, Scotland, found the one sport where they have a high restriction. As he says, we're all the same height in the water. He also excelled in the accordion. The organs were the only school of music when he was young, and he continued to play the accordion with the ropes and trips through the Hebrides to this day. Anyway, enough of you. Claire, you look absolutely amazing, as do we guys. And Sam was just the most handsome guy in the place. I remember when he met you in 2018. I remember when we met you in 2018, it was obvious that you'd filled the ball games. And your birthday was coming up, and you phoned me up for some advice on what to get you. And I said, play cool, don't scare the lassie away, don't propose. Don't propose. But thankfully you said yes, and they were laughing. I know how much work went into this day, and I'm absolutely delighted to be a part of it. I also know what family means to you guys, and the love that you've got for each other and for Sam is something we should always celebrate. We should also celebrate the one time in your life you've got a ribbon. I'd like to raise a toast to you guys. The bride and groom. Sorry, before I forget this cards. I think we've written this. One all the way from Australia. Claire and Bill, wishing you a lifetime of full of love and happiness. Enjoy your wonderful day. We're so sorry disappointed we can't be there. Mary and Julie. And Claire and Bill, hope you have a lovely day. Sorry we can't be there so far, but in Kevin, I think. So, that's me. Thank you.
Very much. We now call upon the sister of the bride, Donna.
I've just got a few little things I want to say. First of all, I want to say congratulations to Claire and Mary Willey. To the family.
Thank you.
I also want to say that today would have been my dad's 80th birthday, so I just want everybody to raise a wee glass and just say a wee happy birthday to Jerry Berry up there for his 80th birthday. And Jerry Berry's only 2 words at my wedding. Claire, I never thought you could look so good.
Thank you, Donna. At this point, can we have 3 cheers for the bride and groom? Hip hip! And hip hip! Now, ladies and gentlemen, an even bigger cheer. Dinner's now served.
I found a love for me. Well, darling, just dive right in, follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Oh, darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass. We're listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it. Darling, you look perfect tonight. Well, I found a woman stronger than anyone I know. She shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share her home.